Good morning, viewers. I am Saraswathi, working as a assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Technology. Now we are going to see about the topic is mobile architecture. Every mobile it has some architecture or structural view. The Android operating system is roughly divided into five sections and four main layers: application layer, business layer, presentation layer, then data layer. Application layer. Your app live at this level along with the core system application for email, SMS messaging, calendar, internet browsing, or contact. It uses a Java API framework. Android framework include Android API such as user interface, telephony, resource location, content provider, and package manager. It provides a lot of classes and interfaces for Android application development. The mobile architecture, it consists of five different views: view system, resource manager, notification manager, activity manager, and content provider. View system used to build an app UI, including the list, button, and menu. Resource manager used to access to non-code resources such as localized string, graphic, and layout files. Notification manager, it is used to display custom alert in the status bar. Activity manager, the manages the life cycle of application. Content provider, that enables application to access data from other application. Library files and runtime, Android runtime. The native library such as WebKit, OpenGL graphics library, FreeType, SQLite, Media, C runtime library, etc. The WebKit library responsible for browser support. SQLite is responsible for database. FreeType is a font support. Media for playing and recording audio and video format. SSL library responsible for internet security. SSL stands for social security layer. Session security layer. Sorry. Android runtime. The Android runtime, there are common libraries, core libraries and DVM. DVM is a Dalvik virtual machine which is responsible to run Android application. DVM is like a JVM, but it is optimized for mobile devices. It consumes less memory and provides fast performance. Linux kernel. In Android OS, Linux is the heart of the Android architecture that exists on the root of an Android architecture. The Linux kernel is responsible for device driver, power management, memory management, device management, like a camera, keyboard, display, and resource access. The Linux is a main part of the kernel OS in Android. The Android libraries. The Android libraries is a Android.app. It provides access to the application model and it's a cornerstone of all the Android application. Android.content. It access publishing and messaging between applications and Android components. Database. Used to access data published by content provider and multiple SQLite database management classes. The database is to access the SQLite database management classes. Dot content is provides the content based content access, publishing and delivering, messaging between application and application component. OpenGL. OpenGL is includes graphics libraries, OS. It provides application to standard operating system services, including operating system services include message system, process management, service management, and inter-process communication. Dot text. Text library also to render and manipulate text or on a device display. View. The fundamental building block of application is a user interface widget. The rich collection of pre-built-in user interface component such as button, label, views, list, layout manager, radio, buttons, etc. WebKit. It's a set of classes intended to allow web browsing capabilities to be built into the application. This is a sample Android architecture. The Android architecture in the applications contains home, contact, alarm, calendar, and then camera. These are the some of the applications in the mobile operating system. Application framework. The application will be run on the particular framework. That is application framework. It contains the activity manager, window manager, content provider, package manager, telephony manager. Native library. The library files is a open graphics library file, media file, SQLite database file, free type file, SSL, SGL, and then library file. Runtime. Dalvik virtual machine and then core library. The runtime under runtime is a Dalvik virtual machine and core libraries. Linux kernel part. Linux kernel part it provides the OS function, process management, device management, and scheduling, memory allocation, etc. Here, all the task will be responsible for a relevant drivers: a display driver, camera driver, Bluetooth driver, keypad driver, and USB driver. iOS architecture. Another one, another one OS is a iOS. In a mobile application, either we can use a Android OS and iOS OS. Android OS is mainly a Java based Android Studio. iOS is a Objective-C and Swift are the two languages to develop a native iOS application, where there are no specific guidelines to Android application. Apple guides on developing apps using an architecture with an MVC pattern. MVC is a model view controller pattern. The iOS developer can choose any architecture. It's the most common pattern for iOS mobile app development. MVC is a three-tier architecture for mobile application. It contains three different layers, such as model, view, and controller. The model layer manages the data, rules, and logic. Data, rules, and logic of an application and consists of a model, objects, parser, networking code, etc. View. How to present the user element in the iOS architecture. It is nothing but a presentation layer for MBS architecture. There are elements for user interaction and does not have any business logic. Controller. The layer establishes communication between the two other layers that control both model and view. Model and view layer. These are the two different architecture in that mobile application platform. In the model, it consists of a to model the object, parser, networking code, etc. View. View consists of a user interface. And then controller. The controller which controls the model and view. The model already contains the model object, different type of model object. How the different type of model object is connected to the user interface will be included in the controller. The controller will be responsible for both model and view controller. So iOS is contains the um, three views. So that three-tier architecture, it contains the MVC pattern. Thank you.